before I get into this video, I want to say happy Pride Month. I know it's like halfway through the month, but I haven't really had a chance to say it yet. But I am gonna put the Trevor Project in the description. I encourage any of you to support your LGBT friends and family. And if you are a member of the LGBT community, there are resources for you. Trevor Project has counseling and other sources if you need their help. But aside from that, I have a little rant before the video. One of my friends thought Vita's name was the Yamaha camera. Now everyone's just calling it Yamaha camera and it's killing me. And if you Google Yamaha camera, Vita is the first two results. He's not a well, he is a camera, but he has a name and he's a robot. But anyways, today I'm gonna be talking about one of my favorite movies of all time, Coraline. Now, I am super nostalgic about this movie. I don't know how many times I've seen it. I don't remember the first time I've seen it, but I know that it's personally a comfort movie for me. There's something about Coraline that just has always stood out to me, and I'm not typically a stop motion fan. There are good stop motion movies, but it was never my favorite. But Coraline is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm gonna be talking about 3 aspects of the movie that make it a masterpiece in my opinion. And those 3 are the style, the atmosphere, and the story. Coraline is a stop-motion film. Stop-motion animation is when you create the illusion of movement through a series of pictures, and they use either clay or figures or such and such. There's no real limitations to it, but most of what you're seeing are real objects. They're not drawn, they're not animated. Well, they are animated, but they're not computer generated. And this is an extremely tedious form of filmmaking. If you see the process, it's just wow. Pretty much they have like a different part of the face to put on the figure for every mouth movement, and they have to, you know, pull off the illusion of gravity and movement and speaking, all sorts of other things. It's crazy how they pull it off. Another stylistic thing that's amazing about this movie is the colors. Now, Coraline has blue hair, which she doesn't in the book, but she does in the movie. I don't think it matters in the book since it's a book and you can just read it. In the movie, she often wears the yellow raincoat, and it contrasts her blue hair, and it's just really aesthetically pleasing. The movie's use of colors are just really tasteful, especially the contrast between her world and the other world, where everything is way more saturated. They use a lot of reds and oranges, warm colors. But in the real world, everything is very muted, and that creates this huge divide between them. Not only is it a world where everyone is nicer to her, but it's a world where everything is more bright and colorful and lively, subliminally making her like this world better, even if nothing else had changed. Atmosphere. The movie has a lot of creepy atmosphere, and I love it. The Pink Palace is such an interesting set piece. She's in a huge house that's like really old and just fallen apart, and the way everything is all gloomy inside and outside is just a really good whoops, is really nice and moody. I don't know how to explain it better than that. I find that a lot of people say that this movie scared them as a kid. I never saw this movie as scary, but like, I can see why you might. But yeah, the atmosphere of this film, it just makes me feel like I am having a different experience than I do with other movies. I can't describe it very well, but it's just, I can put this movie on any day and I always liked it. And then they took it off of Netflix, and I'm gonna sue Netflix over it. Unless Netflix wants to fund my production, then that would be cool. So that brings me to the story. Coraline's story is pretty simple. If you pay attention to the beldam, you might notice that this story is about generational trauma. And if you pay attention to YB and Coraline and the way that her parents treat her because her parents are struggling financially, those things become apparent. Apparent. I think this movie is about escapism. It's about when your parents neglect you, you find another world where things are better, or you make a world where things are better. I'm rambling because the story just has so much nuance to it. But if you haven't seen the movie, I really want you to watch it. And if you haven't seen it in a long time, like, watch it again. It's a special movie to me. And I don't quite know exactly how to explain that. This was my best explanation for it. It's not really something I can talk about analytically. It's just a feeling that I have. And I hope some of you share that feeling, and maybe you'll explain it better than I did in the comments. But that is why I think Coraline is a masterpiece. But yeah, that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed. I'm dying of heat. The summer, I can't record with air conditioning because loud noise, dying. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and share it with your grandma. Tell her to give to my Patreon so I can like live. Thank you, Carrie Smith, for being our patron still. And thank you for watching.